Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 974 days Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. Russian leader Vladimir Putin said at the BRICS summit that the representative of Turkey at the September session of the UN General Assembly in New York received an offer from Ukraine for Russia. He passed this information on to the Kremlin, reports TSN. What exactly was offered to the Russian dictator he did not say. Putin, he said, agreed to the proposal, but then Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced the victory plan. This, the head of the Kremlin believes, ruled out the possibility of negotiations. When asked to estimate the chances of settling the war with Ukraine from 1 to 10, Putin said that he considers it inappropriate to name any numbers and scores. On October 21st, the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, said that the cessation of Russian air attacks on Ukrainian energy facilities and cargo ships could open the way to negotiations on ending the war and would be a significant step towards de-escalating the conflict. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz rejected the idea of inviting Ukraine to join NATO, which is the first point in President Volodymyr Zelensky's victory plan, reports European Pravda. Scholz reiterated that NATO had already made its decision on Ukraine's membership prospects at the Vilnius and Washington summits. And in his view, there is currently no need for any new decisions beyond this. Quote, "A country at war cannot become a NATO member. Everyone knows this, and there are no disagreements on this point. In NATO, invitations are usually quickly linked to membership," unquote, he added. The German Chancellor further stated that Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine requires measured actions that on the one hand guarantee support for Kyiv and on the other ensure that this does not escalate into a war between Moscow and NATO. Volodymyr Zelensky said on 17th of October in Brussels that he hopes to convince Chancellor Scholz on crucial issues for Ukraine, including long-range weaponry and support for Ukraine's NATO invitation. Fox News informs that the US believes that allowing Ukraine to launch long-range strikes into Russian territory will bring Kyiv more problems than benefits, reports Globecom. According to the TV channel's source, an analysis by the US Intelligence Committee and the Department of Defense showed that allowing long-range strikes would not have a strategic impact or would not change the course of the war. One of the reasons cited by Fox News is that more than 90% of Russian aircraft have been redeployed beyond the 300-kilometer range of ATACMS missiles. Another is that Ukraine has few of these missiles and the US Army has few available in its warehouses. The source also noted that Russia is a nuclear power capable of doing very bad things both to Ukraine and to the US, referring to the way of sabotage that has been reported in recent months. Quote, "It would be irresponsible if we didn't take into account what Russia would do," unquote, the White House official said. He also stressed that concerns about escalation were not the only factor driving Joe Biden's decision. According to US intelligence, in the event of a policy change, Russia will simply redeploy all assets beyond the range of ATACMS. Ukraine argues that long-range missiles can prevent Russia from using guided aerial bombs. A number of US lawmakers have stepped up pressure on Biden to unlock the long-range missile capability. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine considers creating a new separate branch of the military, the cyber forces, within the structure of the armed forces of Ukraine, reports Militarny. The General Staff believes that creation of such a distinct branch will significantly enhance the capabilities of the Ukrainian military and ensure effective planning and execution of a full range of tasks in cyberspace, which is recognized as a separate operational domain alongside land, sea, air, and space. The draft concept for establishing cyber forces as a distinct branch of the armed forces of Ukraine was discussed by representatives of the Ukrainian military, members of parliament from the Security, Defense and Intelligence Committee, and experts at a meeting chaired by Chief of the General Staff, Lieutenant General Anatoly Barhilevich. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a non-commercial initiative of just two people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.